the Committee on Homeland Security will come to order. The committee is meeting today for consideration of H.R. 542, the Supporting Research and Development for First Responders Act, H.R. 1158, the DHS Cyber Incident Response Team Act, H.R. 2083, the Homeland Procurement Reform Act, H.R. 2383, the Secure Communities and Safe Schools Act, H.R. 2476, the Securing America Nonprofit Organization Against Terrorist Act, H.R. 2539, the Strengthening Local Transportation Security Capabilities Act of 2019, H.R. 2589, the Unifying DHS Intelligence Enterprise Act, H.R. 2590, the DHS Overseas Personnel Enhancement Act of 2019, H.R. 2609, the DHS Acquisition Review Board Act of 2019, H.R. 2621, the Homeland Security Assessment of Terrorist Use of Ghost Guns Act. The chair wishes to announce that to the extent practicable, it is my intentions to take any recorded vote as they are requested and to not roll votes, and that the chair may recess the committee at any point. Without objection, so ordered. I now recognize myself for an opening statement. This week, we are fortunate to have enforcement officers from our districts in town for Police Week. Nearly 18 years ago, the September 11th terrorist attacks brought into sharp focus the criticality of local law enforcement who serve on the front lines to protect our homeland. Today, this committee is poised to continue its record of listening to the needs of first responders while tackling emergency terrorist threats and tactics. Specifically, we will be considering H.R. 2621, the Homeland Security Assessment of Terrorist Use of Ghost Guns Act, advancement in digital printing, which have potential of producing 3D plastic guns together with the growth of online sales of gun assembly kits demands attention. I commend the gentleman from New York, Mr. Rose, for introducing this measure to direct DHS to produce annual ghost gun threat assessments. I'm pleased to hear that H.R. 2621 has the support of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Another bill that should be of interest to our friends in law enforcement is H.R. 2539, the Strengthening Local Transportation Security Capabilities Act of 2019. This legislation, authored by Representative Barragan, would improve timely information sharing and make training available for state and local law enforcement responsible for protecting surface transportation. Additionally, we'll also be taking up the Secure Communities and Safe Schools Act, a measure introduced by Representative Dimmons to codify FEMA's longstanding prohibition on the purchase of firearms and firearm accessories with counterterrorism grant funding. The State Homeland Security Grant Program and Urban Area Security Initial programs are tailored to help jurisdictions achieve and maintain core terrorism preparedness and response capability. I agree with Chief Dimmons and just about every other major teacher and school group allowing counterterrorism grants funds to be used to purchase guns for teaching is just wrong. First responders look to DHS for guidance on technologies to help them do their job more effectively and safely. The Supporting Research and Development for First Responders Act, as introduced by Representative Rice, will help ensure that vital first responder technology research continues. Two other measures that are of special interest are H.R. 2083, the Homeland Procurement Reform Act, and H.R. 2476, the Securing Nonprofit Organization Against Terrorism Act. H.R. 2883 zeroes in on vulnerabilities around DHS uniforms manufactured outside the U.S. and directs DHS to put in place robust new protections, even as it prioritizes working with American small business suppliers. The second measure, H.R. 2476, is a bill I reintroduced to authorize the Nonprofit Security Grant Program to provide funding to at-risk churches, synagogues, and mosques in both UASI and non-UASI areas. To date, this bill that I introduced with Mr. King and Mr. Rose has over 100 bipartisan co-sponsors. It is supported by the Jewish Federation of North America, and I ask unanimous consent to place a letter of support for H.R. 2476 in the record. Increasingly, there is awareness that nonprofit organizations everywhere are under threat of attack. Enactment of my legislation will ensure that assistance from the federal government keeps pace with the realities of the ever-evolving threat climate. In addition to the measures I've highlighted here, there's bipartisan agreement on bills to enhance DHS's acquisition, deployment of personnel overseas, cyber technical assistance, and intelligence operation. With that, I recognize the gentleman from Alabama, Mr. Rogers, for an opening statement.